Take you to Magere as we keep tabs on the day's events. Bobi Wine is among the faces who are being looked at to be one of the champions of this Red Ribbon campaign. And what we picked in the morning were reports, unconfirmed, that a grenade had been hurled at his residence. Would like to speak to Joseph Sabiti for an update. Good morning, Joseph.
Well, a very good morning to you, Simon and Mildred, here from Magere, at the residence of Chadondo East Member of Parliament, Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. And as we speak now, a team of detectives from the Uganda Police Force are actually sweeping the place after a grenade was discovered near the bedroom of his children. And so the images you see best describe what is happening right here. We're looking forward to results from the investigations. But of course, we can confirm on authority, Simon, that that incident happened, and we see, of course, team from the police trying to collect evidence and see what best they can come out with here at Magere, where, of course, a grenade was discovered, according to information given to us here, near the bedroom of Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu's children.
Have you been able to speak to Honorable Robert Chagulanyi at all yet?
We haven't been able to, but probably we'll be able to hear from him. The information we gather is that a grenade was thrown a few meters away from actually the bedroom of his children. And Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu is right here, Simon, and so we'll be able to just ask him a few things about the events that happened at his home here to give us the first-hand information of what happened. A very good morning to you. Sorry about the event that happened, but to bring us up to speed with what exactly happened, how would you narrate the ordeal that has befallen your home?
Well, first of all, 3 days ago, similar blasts occurred right behind my house. There were 2 blasts, so I was wondering what exactly it was. I didn't take so much caution. I called the police. They looked around and they couldn't see anything. But again, yesterday, 3 explosive devices were thrown at close range at my house, right at my son's window. And when I called police, indeed they've established that there are 3 explosive devices that were thrown to my house.
Okay. What else do you know about the incident? Have you been able to have a chat with the detectives? What are they telling you so far?
Yeah, so far they're telling us that the 3 devices that were thrown, apparently there are 3 handmade grenades that were thrown to my house. Yeah. But again, this follows a series of threats that have been made to me. I've been receiving anonymous phone calls threatening my life. And many people have actually approached me, warning me about my movements, about what I eat and where I spend my time. And I've even been getting calls threatening my life over the Toji Kwatako campaign. Okay. Yeah.
Right. How has this impacted on your family? How do you expect to go about this case, the situation?
Well, it has thrown a wave of fear through my family. My children are always scared. My wife is in fear. But I'm personally not moved. It will not change my resolve to stand for what I believe in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu. Simon, right there is the man we're talking about, the owner of the home. And so for now, we're waiting for information in regard to the details from the police. But all we know is what we have been able to hear from Honorable Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu about the events that happened at his home here in Magere. Simon.
Is the commandant willing to speak to you, the person who is heading that particular operation? Are you able to speak to them or to him or her?
Not at this time, because the people on the ground are detectives, and so they're simply trying to gather information. Of course, we'll be able to speak to the relevant people who are authorized to speak for the police, Simon.
In your observation, ordinarily, what have you picked from there? How big is the grenade? How severe is the damage?
Well, nothing much more than what Honorable Chagulanyi said. My expertise in grenades is very actually limited to zero, and so I'll be able to listen in to what the professionals have to say. But what we can say is that the police officers are actually carrying out investigations here. They have cordoned off the crime scene right here at the Magare home, and as the images best capture, they are on duty, they are at work, they are probably trying to come up with all the information they can get, and later we'll be able to give our viewers a comprehensive update in regard to what exactly happened and what the public will need to know from the results of the investigations.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Joseph Sabiti, for that update. It's quite interesting. Well, each time I see police cordoning off scenes, it reminds me of that moment when, you remember when there was a raid on Mbabazi, Muhammad Mbabazi's chambers?
Yeah, yes.
The lawyer to Honorable Mama Mbabazi. Yes, the cordon and such was very interesting. But I don't want to go there. It's quite unfortunate, and I think it's highlighting a serious crisis in the country. The other day it was Honorable Kasibante.
Yes.
And before we get over it, it's Honorable Bobi.
And it's not even 2 weeks. I think it was last week.
Last week, on Wednesday. On Wednesday, after the events, no, on Thursday, Thursday morning.
After the events at Parliament.
They had just dropped him off, and the next thing was a grenade. Well, are these handmade grenades?
Like you did here.
We should get back to Sabiti.
Yes.
He must be having another update on now.
Well, Sabiti, we're back to you. What's the latest in the last few minutes?
Well, as we try to get back to Sabiti, again, what's very intriguing is that there is a crisis of confidence, in a sense. Crisis in what sense? If up to now, the story has been kept under wraps, there isn't so much that is being discussed about the state of security in regard to grenades that are being hurled at residences. I mean, by now, we're looking at Kasivante as a dignitary, as a very honorable member of parliament.
Yes.
And if such a thing happened to him, the best that we can now have is police communicating.
Yes, I think now police will have to come out and communicate, because I want to think that the incident at Honorable Kasibante's home was taken as one in isolation. But since now we have a number of members of parliament, yes.
It's becoming a pattern.
I think police should be coming out. Joseph is back online with us. And Joseph Sabiti, in the last few minutes, what's the latest you have for us?
Well, Mildred, we are all paying attention to try to get details in regard to the events that happened here. Like you rightly put, it is not an isolated incident. It happened at the home of Rubaga North Member of Parliament, Moses Kasibante. We also got information, rather, that the member for Machindia West, Alan Sewanyana, as well, could have faced the same ordeal. And so probably a lot of attention will be paid to these incidents and what exactly they mean. And then probably it's a duty of the security agencies to make sense of this, especially when you listen to Honorable Chagulanyi, who says he has received threats to his life. People have called him and as well as sent him threatening messages. And so probably it becomes rather a matter of very serious concern to the security agencies, with a duty to protect life and property under the arrangements of the state.
Well, Joseph Sabiti, as you were getting into the home of Honorable Chagulanyi, what was the kind of situation right outside? He's an honorable member of parliament, is from the very specific area, and we've always known him to have quite a following. Is there any sense of, masses growing outside?
Well, I should say everything else is normal except the presence of the men you can see on camera. The detectives are from the Uganda Police Force, who are trying to make sense of the situation here. But of course, as well, you see that Honorable Chagulanyi is spending time with his daughter right there, of course, trying to calm them down after the scare that was brought by the grenade. Outside his home, there is no there's no deployment, actually, and as well as we can't say that people have gathered at his home. Only a few of his friends and family coming here probably after getting news of the events that transpired in the course of the night. And so there's nothing much to talk home about other than what we earlier said, that of course 3 grenades were discovered near the bedroom of his son.
I would also be interested to know how long these forensic experts have been there.
Well, I am not able to independently verify that, but we know that they have rather spent a bit of time on the ground here. Probably they responded to distress calls from the Honourable Member of Parliament here, and so we cannot authoritatively confirm the time they have spent so far, but what we know is that they came in early in the morning and are trying to make sense of the situation right here, and probably a lot of interest will be generated in regard to what is happening, and many people would want to know what exactly happened and what the forces have been able to come up with in regard to investigating this situation right here.
Many would think that Honorable Robert Chagulanyi is expected to join other members of the opposition in the Red Ribbon campaign. By the way you look at things, do you think he's up to it, or after that distressing event, he's now resolving to stay home?
Well, that's a question only he can answer, Simon, and so at the appropriate time probably we'll put the question to him, but I can't say I am fully aware of his plans for the day. Earlier speaking to us, he made mention of the fact that it's only his family that is moved by the happenings, that him as a leader, he's not, of course, affected by all this, and probably we'll be able to ask him what his plans for the day are later, but of course for now he is attending to this emergency at his home, something that of course threatens the security of his family, and any man in a home would be, of course, making sure that they do the needful to secure their family at a time like this.
Well, thank you, Joseph. Thank you very much. We certainly look forward to hearing from you pretty soon.